Speak Harmony, hosted by Sharon Thompson and Dr. Sharon Reid, bringing news, ideas, and community needs. We learn, we grow, we stay informed together in harmony. Our voices are heard. Speak Harmony, where knowledge meets community.
Hello, and welcome to another Speak Harmony show. We're live on YouTube Tuesdays from 7 to 8 p.m. Speak Harmony believes in unity, and it starts with our community. We're building one harmony, our voice. We're in sync, and it's one in unity, in harmony. We speak right here. This episode is brought to you by none other than our amazing sponsor, APAT Media, a photo and production full-service media company specializing in podcasting, multi-camera recording, video, and live streaming services. You may contact APAT Media at info@apatmedia.com. That's info@apatmedia.com. And my name is Sharon Thompson, known as the Sister Connector. And I'm the host, and here we're with none other than
Dr. Sharon Reid, the Heart Lady. You already know. How you doing, my sister?
Excellent.
So what you did this weekend?
What did I do this weekend? Oh, I did a myriad of things. I celebrated the birthdays, with family. Did a bit of community stuff and pretty much chilled. What I did yesterday, you might ask, because it's still Women's History Month, so we're still celebrating.
That's right.
Yesterday was the official day that we celebrate Women's Month.
The 8th. Mm-hmm.
Right? The 9th.
No, March 8th.
Oh.
It's Women's International Day.
Right, so that's it. But yesterday, we did... For some reason, I don't know why it's clicking in my head. The 8th, but rolled up into, you know what? Yesterday, special. So super special. We ended up going to an event down in Cascade, and we met quite a few women who are running for office. Great leaders in our community. But we went to the Capitol, and our dear, amazing, talented, brilliant, fierce sister, DA Fannie Willis, she hosted a beautiful event for women at the Capitol building.
Oh, nice.
All these women showed up in their all shades of purple and lilac and you name it, they showed up in it. And it was amazing to see everyone, all ages. One of my dear, sweet friends, her mom, 84 years old, a matriarch in the community, does a whole lot, and she was honored. It was all ages, all age ranges, and to see great women, 100 women were given beautiful recognition, and that just speaks volume.
It does.
So yes, and we continue to do that.
Beautiful. I know as of even last week when in our episode we talked about movements and we talked about action and activities that women are always the forefront. They may not talk about us, but we are the powerhouse. So that is wonderful. I usually on March 8th, I used to be part of the United Nations chapter for women, UN Women, right here in Atlanta, and us women, we gathered together. The chapter has dissolved, and just in Atlanta, but they still carry on in many other places, especially Washington, D.C. and New York. They have large communities, and Florida, Sarasota. But we would gather together. It's a nice, diverse group. We would go to a restaurant, and last year we did. I missed it this year because I was in Tennessee. I'll tell you about that later. And I missed it this year because I was out of town. But last year, one of the ladies just gave a wonderful activity. We got thank you cards. She gave us all thank you cards, plus stamps. And we were to handwrite a letter to a sister friend and telling her how thankful and grateful for she is in our lives, and just gave her flowers there. It was such a wonderful activity.
I love that.
Big up, Barbara. Yes, so we did that, and this year I missed the activity, whatever we did. But I had a girls' trip.
Yes.
So I was hanging with
Women
my,
hanging, yes.
she's my sister friend now. We were friends since we were 11 years old.
Love it.
And she
Love it.
flew down from Jersey, and we rented a car and we drove through Gatlinburg, through the mountains.
Wow.
Yes, and had a good time in Tennessee, and then drove to Nashville. We were so bored.
Recharge, reset.
Oh my gosh, and she had me exercising and walking and walking. I was like, I'm from Georgia. We don't walk, we drive. She said, yeah, but you were in New York. I said, you walked everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
So that was fun. So we had a great time. Yes, so big up my girlfriend, sister friend, Suzette, if you are watching. So,
Yes.
as part of this segment, we always talk about what is the National Day. So I'm going to ask you, do you like to nap?
You know what? I would like to. I really would like to.
Me too.
I don't.
I don't.
I just don't.
I
So
like
don't know
sleep.
what's-
I don't know about you,
I like sleep,
but I like
don't,
sleep.
but
I do
yeah.
not like napping. Never did.
Yeah, I never really
Yeah.
napped.
But it's interesting how Napping Day came around. It was by a professor and his wife in Boston University. And and it's really about spreading the awareness of importance of getting enough sleep and its benefits. And so it's also meant to help make up for the amount of sleep lost when the hour changes. I don't know how you
we
make up for
just-
the sleep lost.
I
I just don't know.
about that.
How do you do
can't.
that?
There's
What
just no
what
way.
is that, right?
It's just lost. It's just lost.
But the date was chosen because studies have shown that people are already at their most tired and sleep deprived after daylight savings changes. Do you recognize
Yes.
that? Do you feel that?
I've never really felt it.
Yeah.
But I've heard people complain about it. I have.
You're right, I've never really felt it myself, and I always thought people were, I was surprised that people would say, oh yes, it's, it's the hours. I don't keep up with it, so I find that to be very interesting. So, we are moving right along.
Yes.
And I'd love to introduce another beautiful guest that we have.
Yes.
Of course, in honor of National Women's Month. Right? So we have an International Women's Day, which was March 8th, but it is Women's Month. All month long, 31 days. So we are going to do our due diligence and introduce to you beautiful women around. And our first most beautiful guest is Dr. Karla Hylton-Dixon. And, we're really talking about survival to sovereignty and how women rise after the collapse. And so Dr. Karla Dixon holds a PhD in biotechnology, y'all, biotechnology, and is a multi-award winning author, over 15 books, a transformational mental health coach. Yes, she's speaking my language. Keynote speaker and the founder of Women Who Emerge. Women Who Emerge. And it's a global global movement helping women rise from survival into sovereignty. And she also has experienced the darkness of suicidal thoughts and emotional abuse. And she's going to talk a little bit about that, share that with us, and tell us how important it is for mental health, mental awareness, and most importantly, how we emerge. And so with that being said, we welcome Dr. Karla Hylton-Dixon.
Woohoo.
Thank you so much,
welcome,
ladies.
welcome.
I'm happy to be here.
Thank you. So we talked about napping at the beginning, right? Do you nap or have you napped?
I do rest at about, I usually take about 30 minutes
Okay.
to rest in the middle of the day because I wake up early, like about 5 o'clock. And after I have lunch, I find that settles me so I can start the next half of the day, so to speak.
Oh, Well, that's,
Interesting.
actually they do say napping for at least 20 minutes does recharge your body. I just love sleep, so I'm upset and angry when I wake up after 20 minutes. I got to figure out how to get around that, but thank you for sharing that. And so tell us, did you think about or celebrate International Women's Day?
Oh, I did. I actually went to a fantastic Women's Day event, and International Women's Day is personal for me. And, bittersweet because I know what it is to be a woman who almost did not make it to another day, let alone a day of celebration. And as you mentioned, there was a season in my life when I was in so much pain. Emotional abuse, identity loss, a complete collapse of everything I thought I was, that I wanted out. So twice I stood at that edge. And so every March 8th, I am reminded that I almost missed all of this. The movement, the books, the women I now get to walk beside, such as yourselves. So it's not just a celebration, it's a resurrection story.
Yes. Oh, that's beautifully
love
said. It
that.
is a
Yes.
resurrection
Yes,
story.
the resurrection story.
Yes. Very
Goodness.
appropriate.
Wow.
So go ahead.
Emerge. Emerge. Because she's written so many books.
15
Books.
Where did you find the time?
Yes.
Okay, well, I should clarify that some of those 15 books are children books, right?
still
So
books.
they were easier to write,
Yes,
right?
yes.
So I would want
get
to
it.
say that I have 5 adult books, so to speak, And I found that, I want to say writing found me.
Yes.
I've always been writing, but never thought of it to be a career, so to speak,
Interesting.
I remember at 16 years old winning an essay competition nationally and receiving money as a prize. And at
wow.
that time, how
Interesting.
long ago that was. And I still didn't think that was my calling. I went into science, So I see how God has just pushed me
Yes.
from one thing to the other and has led me into the world of writing.
Wow.
So
So
it
writing
you.
found her.
Yes.
I like that.
Did you like to read a lot?
Oh yes, that I
Is that
did do.
usual?
I was always had my nose in a book. My family members would tell me they never saw me without a book in front of me.
Very nice.
I would tease. I have a son that was a reader too. My husband and I, what's wrong with him? He's washing dishes and has the book on the windowsill.
No. Let me tell you, that reading is fundamental because I too have a goddaughter, the middle child of the group, and she would pack her backpack to go on a trip.
And the book is in there.
The book is in there, and guess what? No clothes, probably. So they knew, her mother knew, finding that out the hard way, knew better. When they're going away, check her bag. Her book bag is going to have books, so she have to pack her clothes in hers. It's just a given. And this young lady she reads all the way. She read all the way up through college and is still reading. So reading is fundamental. But emerge, I kind of like that word. And I'm going to keep saying it, but emerge. Because you went from here, the dark space, to where you are, this beautiful person, radiant, and just having so much to offer the world. Wow, emerge.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that. Where did emerge come from? How did you birth emerge? Emerge.
Okay, having been through so many experiences in life, and as you said, in the darkest of places, I survived, right? Now, most women I find live in survival mode. They do not actually realize what they're missing. They are surviving, they wake up, they do what they need to do, but there is no joy, no purpose, no happiness. When you are in survival mode, your mind is focused on getting you through the day. Your emotional energy is spent managing pain, avoiding conflict, just keeping your life stable. But I think that needs to change, and that is what I want to change, and that's how I came up with the whole emerge. We want to own our power as women, not just wake up and say, oh, another day, but have a purpose to move forward, deal with whatever is going on inside the mind and go out and show that you are capable. And so I believe women are always emerging. Each day we can do better than the last day.
What was it, the moment, if you can recall or wouldn't mind sharing, is that you emerged? Because you had to do a lot of work inside. And what helped you to emerge?
It wasn't a quick process. It was a blend of faith. There was a lot of faith, a little science as well. Let's not forget that I am a scientist,
Yes.
so that I do think with the scientist mind.
Yeah.
And of course, the inner work to personally transform. Faith kept me alive. I should not have been alive. Obviously, waking up in ICU, there was a greater purpose. There was something greater than me that caused me to live when I should not have. And the healing work took some time until I learned to set down what was in the past. I couldn't carry it with me. I have been through emotional abuse, the sorrow, the heartbreak of children estranging themselves from me. And I had to set it down, move away from that, send love to them at all times. My arms are wide open whenever they choose to return. But I still have to make something of myself because I could not have been saved to just be surviving.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I like that. You could not have been saved to just survive. There are folks that are watching, listening, and they're on that cusp of saying, you know what? Children are gone. The spouse is gone. Everyone's gone. So we're going to take a quick commercial break. But when we get back, we want to delve into that space where, what would you say to that person who's listening or watching?
Okay.
So we'll be right back after this break. Thank
Okay.
you. So, welcome back. And let's just delve a little bit into the question that I asked before the break. What does it look like? You would share with the audience. What does it really look like that you would say to them, do not go there. It will be okay. You know, you have lost everything. But the fact that God saw it fit to keep you alive, okay? Not mentally stable, probably not physically stable, because your mind, your emotions affect everything. That person that's watching and saying, you know what, I'm done, I'm checking out. What would you say to encourage them today?
I would want to tell them that, you know, I see you, I understand, you feel exhausted, you feel disconnected, you feel as if there is no purpose. But just sit with it, perhaps journal, do something, release the emotions, and just know that you were not placed on this earth just to exist. There was a purpose.
Yeah.
So one foot in front of the other.
Yeah.
You know, smile even when you don't want to smile.
It really changes
You know,
up the energy, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah.
It does. Dance, put on something uplifting. Personally, I find that music helps a lot to listen to uplifting music. It helps to lift the spirit. And search until you find that purpose that you were sent on earth to do.
Absolutely. And you're a mental health coach. Is your experience is what moved you into doing?
Definitely, it was not something that I actually set out to do, but persons, after writing the first book, they started to call and they wanted to know more information, and I wrote a workbook, and I found that persons were drawn to me, and I think unconsciously, perhaps, they could recognize that I have walked in their shoes.
What's the name of that book?
The Unvarnished Truth, Purpose in the Pain, that's my memoir, and the workbook that goes along with it is Vanquishing Monsters.
Oh, Vanquishing Monsters.
Yes.
That's powerful, because
Yes.
I've got them, and let me tell you, if you don't have it, repeat the names of those books for those who need to hear it, need to get it, need to get into it, because there's that workbook that goes with that.
Right. The memoir is called The Unvarnished Truth, Purpose in the Pain, and the workbook that goes along with it is Vanquishing Monsters. Both available on Amazon.
All right.
Absolutely,
So
yes.
definitely we'll check that out.
It says you're really living proof that your darkest seasons, Dr. Karla, can become your greatest authority.
Yes.
You are proof of that. You really are. You certainly are proof of that. Because, science, but you've mixed science with dancing, with music, encouraging yourself from that dark space. And you know what? There are people who are still saying, they're still in doubt, because in their minds, I can't move from where I am. God forbid. And they have gone through losses. They've lost their loved ones, their child, their spouse, lost a job, whatever. And how do you just get up and just keep moving? A lot of people tend to, if I may, tend to get into that little hole, crawl into that space and stay there.
Yeah.
And that is what we don't want to do. We want to get out, because you're scared of telling people that I'm in a dark spot, I'm in a dark space. I'm in a space where I can't get out.
Yes.
And that is a tough part, because you came out of it, but look at how close you got to not coming out of it.
Yeah.
Not once.
Twice.
Oh, yes.
And so it's,
And in the hospital.
it's tough. Yeah.
Yeah, and all the stigma, especially in certain cultures, that's like, what's wrong with you?
Right.
What do you mean you can't get up? You're lazy. Yes. What do she? Or
Yes, definitely.
And, don't follow them mighty, and the things that they say around mental health. I think that's one of the things where it's important for you to be able to mentor and to coach those.
Right.
And to be able to teach signs and symptoms. I know that's what I do. And that's one of the ways that we can raise awareness. I'd like to ask you the difference between survival and sovereignty. What does that mean to you?
Okay. Surviving is really just getting up, doing your daily task.
Yeah.
Just doing what you're supposed to do with not any joy per se. You have to go to work at 9. You go to work, you do what you need to do, and you come home and there is no joy. Sovereignty now refers to you now owning your power. Doing, not worrying about what the other person says. Owning yourself. Knowing who you are and what you bring to the table, and expanding on that. If you have a 9 to 5, you go to work at 9 and you do it with joy, and you walk and you strut yourself, and you own your power. That is what I think is the difference between survival and sovereignty. And for a long time, I was in survival mode. There was no joy on my face. I did not smile.
Did people say things to you? Were people saying that your attitude or?
No, they do know. People, in my case, they did know I was depressed. They knew what I had gone through at that point, And they did try to cheer you up, and they did try to say, oh, but you have this going on or you have that going on, but that was never enough. And it is a personal decision, to rise from that space. And unfortunately, it's easy for me to say it, but it's much harder to actually do. And it does take work.
Yeah. And that's
Wow.
where you also need your circle of support, right?
Oh, definitely, definitely. Family support, friends. You need to be supported by people who are not constantly telling you, but look at what you have to be grateful for. I know they say that with the best of intention,
yes.
okay? The best of intention, but it does not make things better. Sometimes they just need to sit with the person. They're not saying anything, just sit with them, So, there's a lot to mental health, as you would know, right?
Yeah. There's a lot they say also that without speaking, a lot is said in silence.
Yes.
And I believe that sometimes people just need to know that, you know what, I'm here for you. I don't want any advice. Don't tell me what I need to do. I don't want to hear it because I've heard it from everyone else. Just shut it and listen to me right there in silence. Just watch me. Just be with me.
Right.
Be available to me. And that's what a lot of people are looking for. Non-judgmental. And I'm going to say this because you've used them and I know they work for you and they work for so many others. But there is a thing, and I just met someone who's amazing, but she has had church hurt. And I know this is a big topic, but I'm just telling you because there are people who, and I've done it, go from one church, you get there and you feel you're acclimated and you're great, everything is going well. And someone rubs you the wrong way or something happens and you're like, oh, there it is, I'm gone. And so people do that. So you become that rat on the wheel and you go there to get healed, but you're just running. You're just running. Sometimes, what would you say to that person that's running? Like I've run before, because there is such a thing as church hurt. Speak to that.
You have to know your own beliefs, and the Bible is there. That's a hard question, Sharon. It depends on the circumstances, and maybe you might need to change church. Not putting that out, but I think you have to study the Bible on your own, interpret it for yourself. You cannot always rely on somebody else. And I think, the Holy Spirit is there and it will speak to you and help you to interpret. Because, the Bible is written, it can be difficult to interpret, but you have to use your own discernment, right? And if it is that folks in church are rubbing on you the wrong way, then avoid such a situation. Avoid it. Don't keep yourself in a situation that is uncomfortable.
Yeah, as you said, it may be hard to do because familiarity.
Yes.
I did have two questions for you, because you talked about emotional abuse. What does emotional abuse look like?
Okay, I think everybody's familiar with what physical abuse looks like. So you're hit.
Yes.
You're, battered. But when you're battered on the inside, that is what is referred to as emotional abuse. So, for example, in my first marriage, I was always put down. Despite my degrees, I was always so insecure because I didn't think I was bright enough. I never did anything correctly. There was always a fault being found. I was called names sometimes. In my case, I was separated from friends, so to speak, while I was never told blatantly, you should not be friends with X. It was implied, right? And so you lived in this cage where there was just no freedom. Right? And just the way you're spoken to, the tone of voice, the silence that sometimes comes, all of those are forms of emotional abuse. And so people like me who are recovering, when somebody raises their voice to you, it affects you because you're brought right back. You know, even if that person who is raising the voice might not mean any harm, but you know, I call it the flinch, right? You know, you will flinch because you're brought right back to that situation. So, you know, I am here to tell you that it's always ongoing, an ongoing healing, right? Because I could be here happy and something triggers and you are brought right back into that space of sorrow, you know? You're reminded of something, even if that other person didn't really mean it that way, you know?
Because your body reacts to it.
It
The
does.
body.
The body
Yes.
does. The body. 'Cause it's just
the
like
body
children.
remembers,
Yeah.
you see. The body remembers, the mind remembers, yes.
That's crazy because when you're in an abusive situation, it's like anything else. You know, a child, an animal, whatever. You see the monster coming because that's a monster
Yes.
to you, and you see that monster. You hear the monster coming. They just have to hit the door because I've heard of horror stories like that. And as soon as he or she hits the door, because guess what? There are it's more women that are affected by abuse, but we are not downplaying the fact that men are also abused. And there are many men who are macho and big and strong and powerful and don't want to share it. They will rather die with that secret. So, you know, while I heard you saying that, Dr. Karla, I appreciate your openness, your candor, and I just want to say that in my little estimation, I feel as though a lot of people what they say, hurt people.
Yes.
So when people tend to be abusive and loud and mean and, you know, they are pretty much living in a bubble themselves, in a cage, because that cage, that they can't contain themselves. So what they do, they find a victim and they poke at them and they try to belittle them because it makes them feel powerful and strong. You know? And so we have to be able to identify that because the abusers typically, for the most part, isolate. So you said a few things that I saw, I heard it loudly. Isolation. So we have women and men watching, listening, and we just want to share with them, listen, if that is happening, because it happens too frequently, it freaks me out sometimes. I'll be honest with you. And I get very anxious about it because I want to do something about it. Because I've seen people, you see a young man, for example, meets a young lady. Oh, she's beautiful, she's the best thing. But guess what? He disappears from his family. We're like, hey, we don't see George anymore.
Right.
Paul is gone. What is happening? Oh, he met Susie. And so they got married. And now Susie's saying, well, you're spending more time over there eating with your mom and dad. And that is, how would you encapsulate that? What would you say about that? What would you call that, Dr. Karla?
I'm thinking that person is insecure, right? There's a lot of insecurity in terms of feeling loved by that person and therefore tries to keep the person to themselves because they feel as if there's not enough love, perhaps. I'm not the expert, but you know,
married.
I'm thinking
but
that.
They're married. And he's still stopping by mom and dad, having dinner before he comes home to his family because, you know.
Is there enough communication, though?
And this could be
communication.
As you said, survival, attachment. There's so many things that could be variables that can go along with that. But it also could be, to speak with what Dr. Karla was saying, it could be also a form of emotional abuse as well. And so this is where even in a marriage, you feel there can be loneliness, you know, even if you're married and have people around you. So it is learning about sovereignty. And so with that being said, Sharon, and I'm glad you talked about men, because I think a lot of men are emotionally abused by women, putting them down, financial abuse, and we don't talk about it as much.
Yes.
But with what Sharon said, what is the art of emergence? What does it look like in a woman's everyday life?
Okay. The art of emergence is the steps that one is going to take to move from mere survival to actually sovereignty. So I do have a framework. I don't have it in front of me right now, but I do have a framework that goes through how persons emerge. Actually, I'm seeing it right now. Because you see, emergence is deeply intentional, and that is where we have to bring women. Women need to reach the stage where they actually want to come out of just surviving. Unfortunately, that's the difficult part, moving them from merely surviving to wanting to move upwards. So it does involve reflection, emotional awareness, and courage. It is very courageous to rebuild parts of your life that no longer align with who you are becoming. So for me personally, the art of emergence meant transforming my pain, which was a whole lot, pain into purpose. It meant taking those difficult chapters of my life and allowing them to become the foundation for my work to help other women. And perhaps that was the reason I was saved, you know? And so emergence does not mean perfection. It does not require perfection. It simply requires a decision, the decision that you are no longer going to live your life as a reaction to what happened to you.
Very nicely.
I like that.
Yes, you're going to live your life as a deliberate expression of who you are becoming.
Awesome. So what is that one thing? Because we're getting ready. Time's up on us as usual. What is the one thing that most women in survival mode do not realize they're missing?
I think it is clarity. Clarity. Most women in survival mode do not realize that they need clarity. You know, as I mentioned, when you're in survival mode, you are focused on getting through the day. But you need to ask deeper questions now. Who am I becoming? What kind of life do I actually want? So that's what I mean when I say clarity. Having these questions, thinking about them, writing them down. What standards should I have for the people and environments that are around me? Because when you're in survival mode, it's as if you're in a fog. And inside that fog, we accept things we should not, you know. So that is why we have to be clear on what is it that we want. So I believe it's clarity.
So, and while we wind down, you have something very special happening on March 25th, right here in Atlanta.
Yes.
Tell us about the emergence table and what is it?
Okay, so the emergence table is something very special. It is a luncheon, but it is more than just a luncheon. It is a curated experience for women who are ready to move to their next level, to emerge, right? So on March 25th, I'm hosting a small emergence table. It's intimate, only about 30 women. It will be in Buckhead. And I'm bringing together women for an intimate, beautifully designed gathering. You know, we're going to be blending meaningful conversations, reflection, and community. And so when a woman walks through the door, the first thing I want her to feel is intention, that this space was really created with each woman in mind. So,
And a safe.
and it is a safe space. Oh yes, let's not forget that.
Yes.
So yes.
All right. So where can listeners go right now to get a seat at that emergence table?
Well, they can visit my website, which is www.womenwhoemerge.com. There is an event page, and they can just click on that and follow.
All right. And so you have contacts? How can they connect with you, Dr. Karla?
Okay, my email is Karla, Karla, at khylton.com, KHYLTON.com. And my phone number is on the website as well. It is 404-637-4398.
Wow. That yes2purpose.com, what is that about?
Oh, I do have another website, which is yes2purpose.com, and that is where I do my other work, so to speak. That is where I do my mental health coaching. I do some work with AI. I do ghostwriting. I make music too, Sharon. I don't know if you know that.
No. Okay,
Many
can I
times.
ask you what it is? Because that's probably the question, right? What it is that you don't know.
There's a lot, Sharon.
God.
But
Where does one who's
We
having
have
a
a,
hard time moving into that direction start?
start.
Oh, we've got some faithfuls online, and I mean, so
oh,
I guess that's a question before you leave us.
Okay.
They wanna find out where does one who's having a hard time moving
So where
into
do
that
they
direction,
start?
where do they start?
they will have to start with introspection. They will have to. I'm sorry, there is no way around that, I think. And I think journaling, that Vanquishing Monsters workbook, I'm also coming out with an emergence journal shortly, where you ask yourself the tough questions. And you take your time. You may cry. You may cry, but
Which is
take your
good,
time, which is
because it's a
good,
healing
right?
process as well.
And write down and figure out what it is that you want. And as the question seems simple, but it is difficult to answer, if you really think about it and say, what is it that you want to achieve? What is your dream, right? And don't be afraid to dream big.
That's right.
Wow.
Sometimes you need, Michelle, and sometimes you just need a coach to help bring that out.
Yes.
To help
Yes.
guide you so
Yes.
that you can find what's hidden deep
Hidden
within
deep.
you.
Right.
Yeah, because sometimes we're afraid to face ourselves. It's
Yes.
such a pleasure talking with you, Dr. Karla.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I, for one, will be there.
Thank
I hope
you.
many of you women join us as well.
Yes.
Womenwhoemerge.com. Please check it out. I'm sure it's going to be a fantastic time. So, women out there, it's time to what? It's time to what?
Emerge.
Yes.
All
Love
right.
it.
Next
Thank
level,
you
next
so much.
level.
Next,
Thanks.
that's it.
Thanks.
Thank
So
you.
appreciative. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. You ladies have been wonderful.
Pleasure. It's a
And you know
pleasure.
what? I have to say thank you to hubby because he's on
Oh,
the other side.
let me tell you, he is such a What's that song? He's a cheerleader.
Yeah, hubby
oh
is
my
right
God,
there.
he's right
so
there.
I'm sure he was there to support you.
Oh, definitely,
Yeah,
definitely. That was
Even
part
out
of
the
the
men and the word.
emergence.
That's the part.
Part of the emergence.
And
Of
you know,
course.
so we shout you out, hubby. Keith he's amazing. I met him, and from the day I met him, I was like, yeah, good decision, right choice,
Right choice.
right
All
choice.
right, then.
So we want to
Have
thank
a good
hubby
night.
too.
And I look forward
We
to seeing you
appreciate
again
it.
soon.
Thank you
Thank
so
you so
much.
much.
We are getting ready to make that transition for another guest. And while we do that transition, I have to say, Sharon, you've talked about this particular guest quite a while,
Yes.
quite a bit, for a while. And I always, you've ever been asked that question, if you ever wanted to be at the table to talk to someone that has already made their transition, who would that be?
Oh my goodness.
So
Are you
this is
kidding
one
me?
of the women
Yes.
that I would love to sit at the table
Oh,
or
I would
spend
love.
a day with. And so I left this on purpose to say
Yes,
for last.
yes.
This is also, folks, History of Harriet Tubman Day. And so many of you should know who our dear sister friend is, Harriet Tubman, and the things that she has done for the liberation of our people. And on March 10th, every year, if you haven't heard about it, you've heard it here, right here on Speak Harmony, of Harriet Tubman, who was formerly enslaved and fought tirelessly to free others by assisting them with flee from their captors. And actually it's celebrated around the United States, especially in Maryland and New York, two states which held great significance in her life. And she is most commonly known for what? the Underground Railroad, and it wasn't underground, but it was around. And it refers to the safe houses where there were a lot of those who abolitionists who helped. And so, without further ado, I'd love for you, Sharon, to transition into the guest and what that has to do with Harriet Tubman.
Well, so Rita Daniels, who lives right here in Georgia, is one of Harriet Tubman's third great nieces.
Third great.
Oh, there she is.
Relative.
Beautiful. Hey, hello,
Beautiful.
hello. Yes.
Okay.
And she decided to join us virtually. But let me tell you something. This young lady, she has done it all. She had a Tubman Learning Center, the Harriet Tubman Learning Center, right here in Georgia.
Okay.
And that place, I will let her elaborate on it, but she had that going on. But while she did that and she took a segue, she wrote a book. She co-wrote a book. She co-authored a book. So, Rita Daniels, come on up, my sister. Happy Tubman Day. There she is. Ooh, look at Harriet. That's what I'm saying. Look at that gorgeous
So
sister.
if you didn't know, here you
Now
got
you know.
a good eyesight here, right?
Yes.
Beautiful.
So,
Welcome.
give us a little snippet because, we want to jump right into it and not, let time get away from us. Tell us a little bit about that learning center that you had up and coming. Tell us just a little snippet of it. What did you do at that learning center and how did it impact the students that you had there?
It was a great impact, but let me just say this. I want to say thank you for having me. But I
Maybe
wanted
your
to
volume.
also,
Go ahead. That's why we couldn't hear you. We didn't
No, but it's
have
fine.
our earpiece.
That's all good. Go right ahead.
okay, can you hear me now?
Oh, we
Yes.
can hear you loud and clear. We just didn't
Okay.
have her headsets on. That's fine.
Okay. So, Harriet Tubman, the Learning Center, was something that we started back in 2016. And it was to honor Harriet Tubman because she was not given that opportunity to learn how to read or write. So we wanted to do something. My mother, of course, forced me to go back to school and get my master's degree in education. I already had a bachelor's degree in human resources, but she wanted me to do more. So I did. And we started a learning center and we went to different area schools, and that was in Powder Springs and Marietta and so forth. And we were looking for children that were failing or children that needed extra help. So within my family, I have family members that have master's degree. They do robotics and different certain things here, right here in Georgia. So we tapped them, and what they did, they would come to the school and work with these children. And it was such a blessing to see these children how they progressed. Some of the kids were troublemakers. However, we made it very clear that we have a waiting list. And whether or not you want to, you have two choices. You can either go along with the program or get out of the program because someone else will be ready to come in.
Of course.
And it was
Of
very
course.
limited. And so what we did was we worked with these children. We built a raft. We built robots, and we had the robots we had. They were the kind that you could work with your cell phones. Everybody had a cell phone, so we would have races. And some of the kids, they wanted to rush to get the robots done and so forth. And other times, we had some that actually followed directions. And so they would race and they would get rewards. And we always rewarded the kids. That came on time, you got a reward. There were certain things that we did that was completely different than public schools. But one of the main things was that we also fed them. We fed them real good. And so when they would come to the learning center, it was a place of honor. And we taught them that. The name of Harriet Tubman, because she didn't have an opportunity to do this, so we honor her. We want to give her a homage to her. And so when they would come in, we didn't have an exact prayer, but we would always sing certain songs that she actually would sing. Go Down Moses, or certain things that she would sing. And that's how we would open it up. We'd close it out. Someone else would say, tell me something that Harriet Tubman did that, she could, that if she were here today, what do you think she would want to do? Some kids said, she'd probably want to drive a car. I mean,
That's too cute.
it
Yes.
was because, they didn't have those rights as a slave. And so that was one of the reasons why we started the Harriet Tubman Learning Center. And thank God, COVID, of course, it hit. My mother was here. She passed away during COVID, but she didn't have COVID.
I'm sorry.
So, and then recently, my Aunt Pauline, she was my mother's sister. And Pauline passed away in January, and she was
Condolences.
98, the oldest
Wow.
living descendant at the time. So, in my book, as we did mention, it does have an area of, it talked about my mom, and it talked about her, it talked about Aunt Pauline, where they went to Ghana. And that is one of the things that I'm working on. If they could go to Ghana, I want to go and see what it's all about. But I
So,
do know that Ghana is not the same as it was when they went. There was like 10 years ago or 11 years ago. And when they went, they had all the, when you go to certain parts of there, it was the point of no return. When they went there, the dungeons and all of those things, my mother was telling me how it was just ridiculous. It was nothing that anyone could live by or live in. But you think of slaves or people that were captured in chains for months. Some of those slaves never made it out, and then other slaves that did make it out, they either jumped to their death. But one of the things that we learned is about Harriet Tubman's mother, who was on those ships. I'm sorry, it was her grandmother, Modesty. And something about her, she was not going to end her life. And if it hadn't been for Modesty, who had actually made that trip, many of us would not be here today. And I'm not talking about just me as a person, but just the dynamics of how a lot of us are so related from certain ethnicities, and just the fact that it's mind-boggling of how many people that are either related to Harriet Tubman or had a relationship with one of the persons that Harriet Tubman helped relieve, I guess.
of course.
And
So, can I
so,
ask you, what does Tubman Day, I mean, this is the day that she transitioned, right? That she went to join the
yes,
ancestors. What does that mean to you and your family? I mean, how do you celebrate this day?
well, one of the things that we do, we reach out to a lot of people, actually family members. We make sure that we do something that Harriet Tubman might have done back in the day, and that is we would give back. She was a giver. She died poor, she would spend all of her money, or the money that she didn't make, she would give away. Now, I don't have any money to give away, but I do have talents that I
Yes.
can offer.
Like
And
that book that you
so,
wrote,
in the book,
co-wrote.
I co-wrote that book, and I tell you, the Harriet Tubman military scout and tenacious visionary. It was a co-writer. That's the book, and it took us almost 2 years to do it, and that was because we agreed to disagree on certain things, on what should be in the book and what shouldn't. But we got it to fruition, and we did get a publisher and made sure that it got done.
How,
So
how can people get that book, Rita? How can they
now
connect?
that book is available. You can go to Barnes and Nobles. You can order it online. There are various places that you can order it. There's even little small bookstores you can go in and find the book. But it is also on Amazon. Amazon, for some reason, they were selling the book at a really big discount. When I say really big, we've seen it as low as $8 or $9. But they're not directly coming from Amazon. You know how some
Okay.
people, they have ways of selling it.
Yeah.
So we have found that some people have received the book that had maybe some torn pages in it or so forth. So you have to be
Yeah.
careful who you order from. You
Okay.
want to make sure that it is an original copy directly from
A good source there,
Barnes
and
and
that we
Noble
check the
or
fine
Right.
ropes.
bookstore.
Yeah. So I'm curious. You
This
raised a question to your children. What would Harriet Tubman do? What do you think Harriet Tubman would say or do today in 2026?
in 2026, she would be very disappointed with what's going on right now in the
Okay.
world. With regard, she was not a politician, but she would let people know that if you don't vote, that's on you. Many people did not vote this time, and that's one of the reasons why we have who we have in office.
Okay.
A
Some
woman
people said
who,
that he was supposed to be a godsend, but
So you think she would really be there
Harriet,
rallying up the people, right?
she
And
would make she would be going. See, she loved to walk, so
yeah.
she didn't have a problem walking
Walking.
from Maryland to Philadelphia to gain her freedom.
Yeah.
But she would let people know that she fought very hard for freedom. She
oh yeah,
made all of those numerous trips to go back and forth to get family members and others
Yeah.
to so they can get a taste of what freedom was like, is because that's what she was able to get.
Right.
And so she would certainly want them to know that she fought and she fought. And even today, we can see how there's certain things that we as blacks are being removed from, or we're losing our jobs. We're,
Yeah.
these are
Yeah.
some of the things that we need to be looking at.
Yeah.
we need
And
some
if you
modern
don't know
day
where,
Harriet Tubmans, huh?
Yeah, activists, right?
yes,
You know,
we
I'd like
do,
to,
we
yeah.
do,
Can I
yes.
share a little known history fact about? Did you know she was originally named Aminata?
Oh,
Minty was her
yes,
nickname, Ross,
yeah,
and she changed her name
yeah.
after her after her marriage. Correct, right?
Right. Well, she changed her name because her mother's name was Harriet as well.
Harriet. Yeah.
So she actually changed it to what her mother's. Of course, she never did. I didn't understand why she didn't let that Tubman part go, but she kept on to it, and then she added Davis to it when she had that second marriage.
Oh,
So Harriet
okay.
Tubman Davis, you'll probably see her with certain things like that. But I would just say that if she were here today,
Yeah.
she would be number one disappointed of the number of blacks who refused to vote.
Okay.
And she would also just shake her head.
Thank
I
you.
mean, but we really appreciate you and appreciate the fact that you're from her lineage, and that you
New
are
York as
carrying it
well.
on.
Yeah.
Yes, you are carrying on that fierce, Tubman spirit. And I just want to applaud you, Rita Daniels. Ladies and gentlemen watching, if you rewatch this podcast, please go out and purchase that book. It's an amazing read. You don't want to not have it in your collection. And you want to share it with everyone around you. You want to make sure that you share that.
Okay.
Okay?
She
It's-
was a
And we
militant.
wrote
Yes,
it
she
as
was.
it's like a story.
Yes.
It was like a story. So that it's important to understand that it was not just certain chapters that's in there. Those chapters are going back, from one stage of life to another, and it talks about her life. It also has information about my mom, Geraldine Copes Daniels, and then my Aunt Pauline, her sister, Pauline Copes Johnson. And then there's a third person. Then I have a sister who lives in Rochester, and she did a
Okay.
portion on the tugboat that was being named after Harriet Tubman, and so she was there. There's
All
still a
right.
lot of things that's going
A
on
lot of
today.
things to learn about her. And so, in observance of Women's
Tubman,
Month,
yes.
and today being
Being the
March
day,
10th,
yes.
Harriet Tubman, we salute you and we ask the women who are watching to continue to march on. And we give thanks for your visit today. And as we are wrapping up, we definitely want to say, APAT Media, big up, big up. We appreciate you, a full service media company, for sponsoring this show. And to our other sponsor, Heart Love. Join us next Tuesday right here,
Yes.
live on YouTube, 7 to 8 p.m. as we continue learning from those who inspire us, like our sister here, Rita,
Yes.
and our other guest, Dr. Karla, who inspire us through action and what? Purpose.
Yes.
So until then, speak harmony, family. Speak harmony into your life. And don't forget to
Like, subscribe, and share.
share.
The woman who refused to leave her people behind. Just keep that in mind. That was Harriet Tubman. Thank you, Rita Daniels, for joining us on the
We
Speak Harmony
appreciate you.
podcast. Take care, my
Take
dear
care now.
sister. Bye-bye.
All right, bye-bye.
They talk about health, they talk about care, sharing tips, they got us without a care. Thank you for listening, you're the best. See you next week to keep the best. Together we learn, together we grow. There'll be lesson every hour, we know. See you next week with new stories to tell.